Okay. Yeah. So, this poem's called Home. Okay. Home. Character 1. It was late evening by the time he made his way home. Home. His home was his bubble, his respite from all the rubble the explosion of his life had left him with. But home was a bubble, and bubbles pop when they're touched. So pretty soon the storm that was inside him popped the very bubble he never thought he would be forced out of. Suddenly he was a sailor in his chest, and the storm he was engaged against was beating, it was beating against his chest, and it raged against his ribcage, and it ran through his veins. It was too strong for his hands to not shake, and yet too weak to just tear past his skin and leave down on the ground, and him worse for the wear, but free from despair. His ship was his hope. He was riding on it. He was held up by it, and he was sheltered by it, but it was falling apart, part by part, plank by freaking plank, nail by freaking nail. It was doomed to fail. It was disintegrating. And what he knew as he shoveled the water out was that the storm would not wait any longer. His ship would not sail any longer. His hope would be torn apart, and when he was alone in the dark, he would be drowning, drowning, and drowning. Character 2. It was late evening by the time he found some plastic to cover him up. Home. Home was everywhere. It was in the concrete streets with its stones and the bones of the ones forced to breathe their last in its cold embrace. It was in the wails of women chased in its alleyways, away from the gazes of the plastic faces of the plastic people with their polyester smiles, the black-clad, well-dressed people with so much to gain and so little to give to the little boy who was coughing at the side of the street with his hand out for handouts that would never come and his eyes towards the sky where the sun would never rise. Home was a bubble that had popped a very long time ago, a bubble that he had never known. So his home was everywhere, and everywhere was where the storm hit, and everywhere was where it hurt the most. It beat at him even now with its fists and its howls, and he did not know how to breathe when the water punched his face and caused him to cough and splutter as it walked right into his lungs. All he knew was that the storm would not wait any longer. His plastic hope would not stay any longer, and when it was gone and he was alone in the dark, he would be drowning and drowning and drowning. So tell me now, what sets them apart? What different storm rages outside the one that drowns and then the one that rages inside the one that is drowning? Do the fists of misery differ? Does the punch come different for one than it does for others? Does the drowning feel different? Does the water that chokes their lungs taste different? Does the panic consume them differently? And if your answer is no, then what sets them apart? And in the end, is that what everyone is? Is everyone the same under layers and layers of unimportant differences? Is everyone just the same ball of chemicals searching for the right rush of endorphins using what they can? And if all I am is all you are, then who are you and who am I? Aren't we all the same ball of chemicals searching for the right rush of endorphins? Doesn't it only mean that life is an endless ladder and you're climbing and climbing and climbing till your arms fall off and your legs don't go any further and you look up to see the asses of the asses who got higher than you and the asses below you are busy looking at your ass that got higher than them. And on this freaking ladder, everybody's just looking up and up no matter how high they manage to get. We're all just looking up and we're all the same. We're little balls of chemicals looking for the right rush of endorphins. I look into this room, I see strangers and I tell you, you are me. I meet a stranger and he is me. So, thank you.